My name is Heather.
That's actually the first question I was going to ask you. So, who are you and what do you do?
My name is Heather, and I'm a life coach. I work with individuals and couples in creating relationships at work and having lives that people feel are worth living.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. What would you say your challenges in life and business were prior to you and I engaging in the work that we did?
Where do I start? I think one of the things that was the biggest problem was being clear about who I talk to and having the confidence to be able to say that what I do is real. Like I had been doing it for a long, like I don't know, 8 years by the time I think we started talking,
Hmm.
and I had a sense of obviously there was a business that existed. There were people that would come to me, but I kind of questioned whether or not, like I downplayed and diminished what it was that I did and the difference that I made for people. And so that was one of the things that I definitely got out of the experience with you, was being able to take ownership of the work that I do, the difference that it makes, and be able to stand with that with confidence and power. So
Yeah, yeah, totally. Man,
yeah.
you just answered my third question.
Well, there you
See, I
go.
told you they just flow into each other.
Perfect.
Was there anything else that you felt you needed to 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 get for yourself when we first started this work? Because there was some hesitation. I remember
Yeah.
there was some hesitation to dive in. I'll leave it at that and let you answer.
Uh, yeah. So when I have grappled with on and off through the whole time that I've been doing this and looked at branding, with whether or not I wanted me to be the brand or I wanted to create something else as the brand. And I've been through a couple of different branding processes, and they hadn't necessarily had any powerful impact that gave me any, uh, they didn't necessarily provide any direction. And the process with you changed that. Like I actually, I have,
Oh, that's amazing.
right? And like this just happened to open to this page. But this was the first time that I ever actually saw my, like the mood, the energy of my brand reflected back to me, um, like in a way that was like, oh, like real. That it was
Right.
like it was on point um, with who I am and what I want to do.
Yeah.
So
There were two exercises that we took you through, the initial dreaming of the future and what
yep,
that looked like, and then there was the crafting of the source or the guiding document.
yeah.
Um, what happened for you during those two exercises? Do you remember?
The first part, uh, like being taken through that journey and answering those questions and just kind of being present in the moment in those questions, and then having off to the side this whole like demonstration of what I was talking about in picture
Right.
created at the same time. It was really profound.
Yeah.
In Because it was like it made it concrete. It was like it took what I was saying and these ideas that I had in my head, some of them I didn't even know that I had, and made them into a thing that I could actually see. It was That was astonishing. Um, and so I left feeling, um, yeah, I just like I left feeling like it was real, like what I was doing was real, that it was important work, that there was a need for it in the world, that there was support for it in the world. And so any of those places where I, let my own saboteurs and gremlins get in the way and take me out, it was like there was now visual evidence to prevent that from happening.
Yeah, something that you can reconnect to and be reminded of what I already saw you as, the big person that you are, the difference maker that you are, the one that is a light to people in dark places. You finally saw that for
Yes.
yourself.
Yes. and still see it. Like even like given the condition of humanity right now in the world, you can really almost literally see how access to that light in the dark, with me as that, makes space for other people to show up and like take a deep breath and recover, and then be able to see things differently and clearly and make better choices for themselves to have their life work in a different way and have their relationships work in a different way, and have more compassion and understanding for each other as a species, a global community, and have the outcomes that kind of focus would have in the world. Yeah.
I get goosebumps every time you share about that stuff that you do for people. It's always important. It's always been important. And now it's even more important.
That type of conversation that you're talking about right there is a conversation, a version of a type of conversation I've been having my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
That I've always been the one that people go to for answers, for explanation, for understanding. And I have, because that's just how I am, I've discredited it as real. It's just like, well, it's not a thing. It's it's just not a thing. It's just how I am. And definitely one of the things that I got, especially from the second part of what we did together, was that no, that's actually the superpower. That's actually like because that is so natural, and then I can add knowledge to that, and I can add experience to that, and I can, as I continue to do this year after year after year, expand myself in that capacity already on that foundation of this is who I am and what I do naturally. That really, it was anchoring somehow, and it really shifted my perspective. It was like all of a sudden I could see the matrix.
Yeah,
Totally.
totally.
Being run by it,
Holy shit.
Yeah, like that. Yeah. And that image that you guys helped me create of like space around my fire for people, and that in the dark, when you can see the light off in the distance, if you're lost or if you feel like you're really alone and you can see the light from a house off in the distance, it's like all of a sudden that you're not alone anymore. That image stays with me a lot.
So what do you do with this work now, the work that we did together?
Well, I keep going back to it when I get lost or question, or like there are moments still where I'm like, really, is this really the thing? Like, maybe you need to go over here and have this conversation over here, and then I can go back to the source and be clear that no, that's still the truth. Like what we created, what you guys pulled out of me was the truth, and it is my truth, and I can spin it a bunch of different ways, but it's still the truth. And it keeps me further inside the lines that I said I wanted to live inside of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I look forward to hearing more about all the stuff that you're up to and the insight and the wisdom. I'm excited. I'm excited for what you're creating. I say this because she's resistant to it, but we're going to go through it. It's all good.
It's true. Good. And there's the need for it, right? Like this.
Hands down. Well, thank you for taking the time to getting me represent to the work that we did with you, and for you to take the time to get represent to the work that you continue to do in the world, because it is not optional, it's necessary, and it makes a difference. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity to talk about it and be reminded of, it's not an if question, it's just a when question. And then how long do you want to suffer before?
Yeah, totally.
So yeah, being present to that is